So like 1996 is when the kind of fever started. And we all knew that 1997 was going to be a qualification year. That was the first year that the Grand Prix were introduced, and it was the point system to be selected to go to the Olympics. So it wasn't just, you weren't just trying to get on the podium to get some money. It was like now there's a cumulative point series that you need to get the spots for the team and blah, blah, blah. I try not to really concern myself with that at that point in time, but it was definitely, the thought of being able to go to the Olympics was huge because, my family was my dad was like an Olympic hockey fiend.
Oh, wow.
And, so the Olympics was very much a thing. Like they went to Lake Placid
Do you
when
believe in miracles?
totally Miracle on Ice, like that kind of stuff
Yeah.
it's
It's
cemented,
huge.
So
Yeah.
I was a child of the Olympics. So the whole Terrier boycott the Olympics thing, like it, on one hand, I was like, yeah, but we could be the dudes that brought skateboarding style to the Olympics, and it's just another competition for me, but this one is for my parents. That's kind
Yeah.
of how I thought of it. It was like all the naysayers that were like, that I told I was going to be a professional snowboarder on the East Coast, because there are a lot of them. Massachusetts is full of people that
Oh,
want to,
naysayers in
yeah, yeah.
Massachusetts? That doesn't
Assholes?
sound
Say
What do you
no
right.
want?
more.
You want to fucking snowboard? Like, what do you mean? Like on the
I
weekend? No, it's a
married a masshole,
job.
so.
Yeah. When you told somebody that you were going to snowboard for a living in 1998, or 19, I should say, like, 1990 through 1998, they thought you were nuts. Like, just
Yeah,
nut. You're a bum.
totally.
Like, you're a bum. You're going to be a
Yeah.
professional bum. So it was a real opportunity for me to not only fly the finger in all of those people's faces, but really to prove to my parents and let them have pride. And, my son's an Olympian, because I wasn't going to go to the Olympics for anything else. I was never going to be offered this opportunity by anyone else. So it was like I went into it full bore. And it was the first time we had ever really experienced media of that magnitude. X Games we experienced it a little bit, and that was like a kind of like a the first like, whoa, like this, we're on like real TV, not like a sideshow at 3 in the morning,
Totally.
7 months later, the airing of the US Open, like, you
Yeah.
know, so this was kind of a big deal. There was like press conferences, and there was people that followed you around, and you had to pee in a cup, and like all this stuff that I never really pictured, but I just went along with it. There was a lot for myself, a lot of pressure on myself to I was way more concentrating on what would happen if I won the gold medal than what would take to win the gold medal. I got caught up in the hype train.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a lot of money riding on it for sponsorships and bonuses and all that kind of stuff. And, I got lost. I got lost in the ether. And
Mm-hmm.
it, to be in the start gate at the Olympics and to experience, like, I mean, there wasn't half as many people in Nagano as there were in Salt Lake, but still, you've got the weight of the country on your shoulders. And it definitely like crushed me. I was crushed by the weight of expectations on myself, and um yeah, just folded. Just
Not
fo-
to mention that every run counted, like which is a different kind of pressure that athletes now
Dude,
aren't you doing. It's like every single run you took in that season added up to whether you were going to be able to represent
totally.
snowboarding and your scene and the US,
And
you
and
know.
and even in the Olympics as well, it's like, it was two runs combined, which was
Yeah.
like, and I'm of the opinion that I believe that the Olympics at that point in time stunted progression, because all anyone wanted to do is create two runs they could land in their sleep.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
there's like a focus on like safe riding a
Totally.
little bit. Yeah.
Totally. And it was funny because I made the final, drop in first, second wall decked on a trick that I could do in my sleep and not even think about it. And it was disappointing, but at the same time, this immediate feeling of euphoria, like you're free.
Oh,
And it's
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
so weird how that, like, I can still remember that feeling, because the second run I dropped in, I didn't give a fuck. I like just like left the wall and like flung myself in reckless abandon, like just doing whatever the hell I wanted to do, and just like, I don't care, it doesn't matter, just gotta have a show. And that subsequently, that run ended up being the highest scoring run of the day. So
Yeah.
if this was 2002,
You would have had a gold
we would
totally.
have had a gold medal. But it's like,
Yeah.
it just shows you like people can like people can fall apart, you know. Anyone, even the most prepared people, even the best in the world, can just crumble under
Yeah.
pressure. And at that point in time too, like, first event that happened was Ross Rebagliati gets his medal taken away for weed, and that's all they wanted to talk to us about.
Yeah.
No
It
one
was
It's
wanted.
just
like the laughing stock in the
Yeah.
whole, like,
It was
I
like
remember
in
going to the New York, like looking at the New York Times, and they're like, comparing snowboarders to monkeys, and I'm like, wait, what? Like, this is the big debut, and all they're doing is making fun of it, you know, something
Yeah.
that was like so precious to us.
It was like an early memification of snowboarding, like what they did to the like breakdancers this time
Yeah.
around. What I think is like your story is like it was like a microscope on the first time snowboarders had felt pressure like that. Because
Yeah.
it was like, oh, you get more money involved, more just everything, fame, all that stuff.
It was
on
different. It
the
was like
level.
the US
Yeah.
Open. I felt a lot of pressure at the US Open because that was in front of a hometown crowd, and something I really wanted, like,
Yeah.
my heart was in the right place to handle that pressure. The Olympics was such a different animal completely, and I think I made the mistake of watching, because I think Johnny Mosley won the mogul competition
Oh, yeah.
the day before the half pipe, and I made
Right.
and
Sick
I
hat.
yeah, I made, like,
To the jelly roll. Yeah.
Mosley's the fucking coolest dude. Like, I
Yeah, he
love
is.
Johnny Mosley to death, and I watched him at the medal ceremony the night before.
Yeah.
And I honestly feel like a bit of that fucked me, because I saw how many people were at the medal ceremony, how
Yeah.
incredibly emotional it was, and I started to get real nervous. Like, instead
Yeah.
of like walking out, because I used to like walk out to half pipes and be like, "Fuck, I already won. Like,
Whatever.
I've won this. All I got to do is go through the motions, and I'll go home with whatever." I was scared shitless that morning.
Yeah.
It's really scared. And it's, you know, you need those lessons are taught to you in ways that oftentimes you don't like. But like,
Yeah.
it changed my perspective on things. I think like, there was a huge jump in progression right after the Olympics ended within snowboarding, within
Yeah.
half pipe. And I think it was really, everyone just had like a cumulative exhale after that. And then 2002 Olympics was like what I imagined when I thought of this is the Olympics, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
Like,
it
they
was
had their dress rehearsal, and then the world was ready. It was in the U.S. They
right.
just
the
could
pipe
take
was good,
ownership
the
of
weather
it.
was good.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. And I didn't make the team that year. Like, my brain was somewhere else at that point. I really wanted to ride slopestyle, and
Yeah.
um I just wasn't in it. I don't think I was saying I was into it, but I wasn't really there. But I do remember I was at a filming for like Robot Food or something like that at Snow Summit, and I remember being on the phone on the lift with Gus Buckner, and him being like, "JJ just came down. JJ's in first. Oh my god!" And then he's like, and then who got second? He's like, "Danny Cass came
Danny.
down. Now Danny's in first." And
Yeah.
I just remember being like, just like, oh, like, you know
I
what I
should be
mean?
there.
Like, just like, but it's just, shit happens for a reason. It's just like
Well,
things.
also, you built that. Like, that happened because
Totally.
of the 98 experience.
Sure.
Because I do feel like there was this fallout, like a post-Olympic slump collectively for snowboarding, and they don't feel like that snowboarding was done the way that they wanted it done in Nagano. And so, like, through your sour experience, not that it was sour, but you know what I mean? Like, it helped kind of create that pathway for the
Sure.
next generations.
Yeah. And I mean, like, you know, the progression jumped up during that, and like that whole thing, like those years, I remember I was on Special Blend, and it became really important for me to learn how to ride slopestyle. Because
Yeah.
I just wanted to fit in with the cool kids, and I thought the cool
Yeah.
kids were Jeremy and JP and Devin and Peter. I wanted to fit in with them,
Yeah.
and that meant that, you know, I got to learn how to ride slopestyle. So I just concentrated on slopestyle, and I just kind of like thought like, yeah, I'll just go back to the pipe if I can go to the Olympics, whatever. But at that point in time, you know, Danny had come up, Ross was on fire. There was all these
Yeah.
Europeans that were riding so well. So it was like that's when the specialization kind of began to start too, where like if you want to be serious about this, you can't half-ass in two different worlds. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
what a great time though. I mean, like
I know.
the 2002 Olympics is so. I watched the video of that on YouTube a little while ago, and it's magic, man.
Yeah.
It's magic. Like that
That is
day,
what's-
Ross,
yeah.
like all the whole everyone was
It
just
was perfect.
ripping, like ripping. Were you there, Trish?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I competed with.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, it was awesome. But and also just a little bit of that like Olympic magic, which is, you know, it's like anyone can win. You know, like the people who won in '98, like Jean Simmons, like who the what?
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of
like
random.
And
yeah.
Ross, you know, he was on fire, but it wasn't like he was a shoo-in for gold. He just like showed up and went enormous. And
Yeah.
you know, it's like Caitlin
Even
Farrington,
JJ,
like,
even JJ was
yeah.
a little like, oh, out of left field.
He was
Like,
JJ was peaking at that point in time though because he had won the X Games like the week before.
Yeah, or the qualifier.
Right,
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that was a really big deal. And I think, you know, sometimes you win things at certain times that give you like I can
Confidence.
I can do
Sage
this. Like,
Kotzenberg,
yeah.
yeah.
Totally. Sage is a great example.
He won
too.
that last Grand Prix. Like it is pretty crazy. Like just the Olympics, it stands in its own sort of category in a way. And I do think that there is sort of like an Olympic god or something that comes down and is like, today's your day.
Yeah.
Like,
And it's true. It's
Yeah.
true.
but it's mental. It's like
For
what
sure.
you just described. You know, when JJ he mentally had his head wrapped around it, and Todd, you were talking about how like, oh, mentally I wasn't there.
But yeah, I mean, like, we've all had those days where it doesn't matter if it's the Olympics or anything, but like, you walk into the parking lot and you just know that you're gonna do something for good. Like, it's just,
Yeah.
I don't know, and it doesn't have to be snowboarding. It could be like, I'm waiting for this thing to show up in the mail, and then like all this stuff like happens in a positive.
it's like a
linear-
certainty.
It's so weird how that works, and I just wish that like I could figure out how that works because I'd like to live.
Yeah, and
in-
harness it.
I'd like to live in that zone.
Every day.
Harness
Yeah.
that shit. Yeah.
I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that charge money for that on the internet, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
get a life coach. I think
Yeah.
that's what they do.
I don't know.
yeah.
Subscribe and follow.
Totally.
Todd, thank you so much for your time.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thanks for talking
Yeah.
to us.